Like if I'm designing like a meme creation thing, should I do with professional or the student audience? What do you think, everyone? Like it's AI, first of all. AI will be not just targeted towards students. Like students need to know a lot about it from the basics. If I'm talking about AI stuff, but let's do this. Like which audience do you think, or just the developer audience? There's always a bit of a delay when it comes to the chat, so let's wait. I guess the so all students can anyone can make it. So yeah, with current technology, anyone can make it. So perfect. Totally beginner students. Perfect. So this is our initial queue, students. Plus,
Mhm.
we have to make an automated meme creation with AI thing. So the what is the first step towards making a cohort? What information do you need further, Yashraj?
Yeah. So, uh, who are the people who will be, you know, are there any prerequisites? Basically, that is the first question. Are there any
Mm-hmm.
prerequisite uh, among the audience we are,
Right.
trying to involve in this cohort? So in this case,
Right.
I would say basics of programming might be
Right.
prerequisites, right? Because
Perfect.
the goal of this cohort is creating meme creation tool with AI, right? So
Right.
it's not
Right. Right.
learning to program. You can have abundance
Mm-hmm.
of resources for that. So yeah, fundamentals of programming, and those who have those fundamentals in place, little bit, not too much, are welcome. Those students, yeah,
Right, definitely.
yeah,
So we have set a particular prerequisite that you need to know the basics of programming. Now let's start with what's the next step? Like how do we actually structure it? Like it's totally beginners, it's totally students, and they just know like maybe what should I say? Basic of JavaScript, for example. They
right,
can build on top of TensorFlow JS in that case, or maybe they know
correct,
Python, they can build on TensorFlow directly.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like okay, so now the first step, what do you think? Like how should we actually do it? How should we get
right,
them
right,
introduced to TensorFlow?
yeah. So I think that would involve getting everyone in a common place where we can introduce them to what we are going to do, and uh, depending on what technology we choose to move forward with, as you mentioned, it could be JavaScript, it could be Python, right? And that will decide actually the prerequisite, like if it's Python fundamentals or JavaScript fundamentals. So let's say if
Right.
it's Python fundamentals, so we already
Mm-hmm.
have that, and
Mm-hmm.
we can have a very simple demo, like a
Okay.
of what kind of application we are going to build from, and that
Mm-hmm.
that will be full demo, so that everyone in the audience who are going to be part of this cohort can see what they will be able to build,
Previously.
and
Right.
a sneak peek of what this technology can do, for
Right.
example. And that is, I think,
Perfect.
really important. That will be the motivation bit of it, right? And
Right.
then comes the consistency. Someone was mentioning about
Mm-hmm.
timetable. Then comes
Mm-hmm.
you introducing,
Right.
you're sharing what is coming next, what's the schedule,
Right.
what the schedule which we are going to, how many hours every day, which days, and what will be the
Mm-hmm.
frequency, and in what frequency we will actually meet,
Mm-hmm.
when will be the Q&A sessions, if any, and things like that. So, and then that particular schedule will already have what milestones they need to achieve, like that.
Right.
So, and those milestones will actually decide what they need to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that, I think, in my experience, that also sets cohort based learning different than other learning
Mm-hmm.
models, because you are actually deciding what you will be doing, and then you
Mm-hmm.
figure out what technologies you will be will be needed to achieve that
Mm-hmm.
objective. So you have, for example, in the first, you have the skeleton, like it could be just the UI or something,
Right.
right, where you have, and then you add functionalities, you add the library, and that could
Mm-hmm.
be the second or maybe third session where they actually do it. So in the first, they
Right.
might not need to know what is TensorFlow, right, in the sense, or
Mm-hmm.
dive deep into it.
They
So
know
that
Python, introduction to Python first, and then
correct.
TensorFlow, right?
Correct, like
Correct.
how we are building the UI in the beginning or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then slowly it can go. So that those consumable modules or those consumable pieces of content. I hate the term module; it is overused everywhere. So
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, so
Right.
I think that is important, and that
Mm-hmm.
will be our next step to share
Okay, perfect.
the schedule. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, perfect. So first step
yeah.
is getting people know the prerequisites, getting them know
Right,
like that this motivation you will actually build this, right?
right, right.
Making this actually exclusive as well as you had mentioned earlier. Like
Correct,
people can
correct,
enroll and only like 14 to 20 people can actually join in because it will be a closed group. Closed group
correct,
enhances like productivity as well as like motivation, right?
correct.
And then the next step will be dividing these scores. So how many days do you think, like if I'm doing a 14 days thing, how
Yeah,
many modules, but I have to use that word, I cannot use anything else, how
it's
many
okay.
like
Yeah,
modules should I have?
yeah. So for example,
So
the program
for
which I
every
have
day,
right now, yeah,
right?
it is, as Vanpa said, like a lot of research has been done, and
Mm-hmm.
my understanding, our understanding of developers as an audience, we have been developers, like we are developers at heart, so we understand that um, like more than an hour every day
Mm-hmm.
sounds too much, right? Too ambitious, right? Like if you are
More than an
expecting
hour
someone.
of a video learning or actually implementing it, so because video
No, no,
plus implementation will take
the
more.
learning part,
The learning
right?
part,
So
okay.
right, so and I'm not just saying video, it could be learning, could be live as well, as one once
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, I think somewhere mentioned. So it could be,
Right,
any
got
kind
it,
of learning, so
interesting.
that, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that learning cannot be more than an hour, because in this, we are already in this overdose of everything online. So I think that is important, and apart, and that will, depending on how much in depth we want to go into, because given our
Mm-hmm.
audience are student, and the goal is to help them get started, is
Right.
is to not to teach them everything there is about TensorFlow, right? Obviously. So there is keeping the expectations right. I think that is important. So the goal here is to get them started, reaching, taking them to the point where they have developed at least one app, and they can proceed further. So given that, I think 14 days would be too much. So we can have 1 hour every day for 7 days, and that's for learning, and adding some hands-on here and there. We should be okay. Yeah,
Right, perfect. So
yeah,
14 days,
yeah.
and our focus
Yeah,
should be
seven
just
days.
like,
14 is too
so
much. Yeah.
14 is too much, 7 days and 1 hour
7 days.
video every day, right?
Right.
And rest will
Any
be, but don't
content.
you think,
Yeah,
right, any content.
yeah.
So in 7 days, introduction to Python, introduction to TensorFlow, then actually implementing the front end part of it, then going deeper
Right,
into the implementation of how do you do it at the some, you need to have some kind of backend, so designing like a small backend in
right,
Node.js or something, and then
right,
actually implementing TensorFlow. This will be the flow. So
right.
now we need to have the audience, we need to build a community. What kind of place do we host it, and what kind of motivations, like these are the last things that we need to do, right? So how do we do that?
Right, right. So that comes, the project journey which we decide for all the cohort members. So when they introduce, when they are supposed to implement which technology, and depending on that technology, they should learn either on the same day or the previous day, something like that. And I think it's important to keep a balance between learning. Again, I'm not saying recorded videos, because that only, like, combination of both. So, and with hands-on. So it might be good to have uh, either before or after, dedicated time for them to follow the exercise or whatever
Right.
the goal is to achieve. And everyone is online, everyone is maybe on mute, and a video off, but they are online, and they are doing
Right.
their thing, right? And if they have any issue, they can unmute, they can ask everyone, and whoever has already faced that issue can help. So having that time, either before or after the actual learning, is important,
Right.
so that they can implement that. And I think this should be okay for our use case. No matter how many technologies uh, they will have to club together to make this app possible. They should have a workable app.
Right.
Yeah, as Vanpa said, you will have a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
it's kind of structuring like a hackathon in some sense, right? So you'll have like live sessions, you'll have recorded stuff,
yes,
async
yeah.
learning as well as synchronous learning. You need to have a mix of both, right?
You need to have
And
mix. Yes,
right, and then
yes,
you'll have like proper sessions on how you get started, and actually at the end some kind of a competition of actually how to do it and complete it and win some stuff or get a job, right?
correct, correct. That is
And
true.
maybe Discord might be a good place to host it like every other hackathon.
Yes, yes. Why not? Yeah, you have like voice channels and whatnot. Yeah,
Right. So at the
yeah.
end of the day, you will be creating a meme bot, and now you'll
Yes,
actually like be able to do it. Basically, if you want
yes.
to start with that, if you want to show it as a project showcase or something, you can do it.